Just imagine this. You're standing in a baby store or scrolling through Amazon at midnight, trying to find the perfect gift for your baby. Something that will help them learn. Something that will make them smile. Something that shows how much you love them. And you find it. It looks colorful. It plays sounds. It says educational right on the box. You buy it. You wrap it. You watch their face light up when they see it. And here is the part nobody in that store and nobody on that product page ever told you. Some of the most popular, most purchased, most gifted baby toys in the world are quietly doing the opposite of what you think. Not because you made a bad choice, but because the research behind early brain development tells a completely different story than what's on the packaging. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 10 gifts that are silently interfering with your baby's brain development. And by the end, I promise you'll never shop for your baby the same way again. Stay with me, because number 7 is the one sitting in almost every nursery in the world right now. Before we start, I need to say something important. Every single gift on this list was bought out of love. Every parent who purchased these things was trying to do right by their baby. And that intention is beautiful and it matters deeply. But love and information are two different things. And the information about how your baby's brain actually develops in the first 3 years, what it truly needs, and what quietly gets in its way, has been sitting in research journals that most parents never see. So this isn't about guilt. This is about giving you what the packaging never did. The truth. Number 1. Electronic learning toys that talk, sing, and flash. Here's what's really happening when your baby plays with a toy that does everything for them. A landmark study from Northern Illinois University found something that stopped researchers cold. When toys do all the talking, babies do less. Significantly less. Babies playing with electronic toys produced fewer words, fewer conversational turns, and less parental interaction than babies playing with simple wooden toys or books. Here's the simple translation. Your baby's brain is wired to build language through back-and-forth exchange with you. Every serve and return, interaction, you speak, they respond, you respond back, lays down neural pathways that no battery-powered toy can replicate. When the toy talks for you, your baby's brain gets entertained. But it doesn't get built. Imagine your baby holding a toy that sings the alphabet. They're watching it, listening to it, but they're not looking at your face. They're not reading your expression. They're not learning the most important language of all, the language of human connection. The most educational toy your baby will ever have is your voice. And the second gift? It's something most parents consider a lifesaver, and the research will genuinely surprise you. Number 2. Baby bouncers and swings used as a substitute for holding. Let me be clear, bouncers and swings are not the problem. Rest is not the problem. Every parent deserves a moment to breathe. But here's the surprising part. Research in early sensory development shows that your baby's nervous system is specifically calibrated to the rhythm, warmth, and heartbeat of being held by a human body. Not approximated, not simulated. The actual biological experience of being carried by someone who loves them. This is called proprioceptive input, the deep pressure and movement feedback your baby's developing brain uses to build its sense of safety and body awareness. A swing moves, but it doesn't breathe. It doesn't have a heartbeat. It doesn't smell like you. From your baby's nervous system perspective, there is no replacement for being held by you. Every minute in your arms is a minute their stress hormone cortisol drops, their oxytocin rises, and their brain learns that the world is a safe place to be in. You are the most sophisticated sensory experience your baby will ever have. Number 3 is something almost universally recommended, and the truth about what it does to your baby's developing eyes will shock you. Number 3. Baby screen time devices and infant tablet holders. The packaging says educational. The ads show happy, smiling babies learning colors and numbers. But what most parents don't realize is this. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends 0 screen time for babies under 18 months, except video calls with family. 0. Not limited. Not supervised. 0. Here's why. Your baby's visual cortex, the part of the brain that processes what they see, develops through tracking real faces, real movement, and real 3-dimensional space. A screen is a flat, two-dimensional light source that moves faster than your baby's developing visual system can properly process. But the deeper issue is attention. Researchers call it the attentional inertia effect. Screens teach your baby's brain to expect rapid, constant stimulation. And after screens, the real world, your face, a simple toy, a book, feels unbearably slow. You haven't taught them to love learning. You've accidentally raised their stimulation threshold so high that real life can't compete. Your baby doesn't need a screen to learn. They need a window, a face, and time. Gift number 4 is one of the most gifted baby items in the world, and what it does to your baby's natural development curve is something pediatricians are increasingly concerned about. Number 4. Baby walkers. This one is hard to hear, because walkers feel like progress. Your baby is upright. They're moving. They look so proud of themselves, and you feel like you've given them a head start. But here is what the research actually shows. A study published in the British Medical Journal found that babies who used walkers sat, crawled, and walked later than babies who didn't. Not earlier. Later. The reason is rooted in how motor development actually works. Crawling is not just movement. It is a full brain integration exercise. When your baby crawls, both hemispheres of the brain are being forced to coordinate together, building the neural connections that underpin reading, spatial awareness, and coordination for life. A walker skips that entire process. It props your baby into a position their body hasn't earned yet, and their brain misses the developmental work that getting there was supposed to do. The floor is not your baby's enemy. It is their greatest teacher. Number 5 is something almost every grandparent buys, and it's one of the quietest disruptors of healthy sleep development science has identified. Number 5. Musical sleep soothers with constant sound and light. Your baby's sleep environment is not just about comfort. It is an active brain development event. During sleep, especially deep sleep, your baby's brain is consolidating everything it learned that day, building memory, processing emotion, strengthening neural connections formed during waking hours. Here's what most parents don't realize. Constant background music and rotating light projectors don't soothe your baby into deeper sleep. Research in infant sleep science shows they actually prevent the natural transition into the deep sleep stages where the most critical brain consolidation happens. Your baby's brain needs silence and darkness to do its deepest work. Not stimulation, not a light show, not a playlist. The soother that plays all night isn't helping your baby sleep better. It's keeping their brain in a lighter, more stimulated state, night after night, during the hours their development needs the most from rest. Silence at night is not emptiness. It is your baby's brain doing its most important work. And gift number 6 is the one that will genuinely change how you think about play forever. Number 6. Overly structured educational play kits. There is a billion-dollar industry built on the belief that your baby needs to be taught. Flashcards, shape sorters with only one right answer, color-coded learning systems with instructions. And here is what developmental psychologists have been saying for decades that the industry hopes you never hear. Unstructured play is the most powerful brain development tool ever discovered. When your baby picks up a cardboard box and turns it over, bangs it, sits in it, and tries to fit things inside it, their prefrontal cortex, their problem-solving circuitry, their creativity systems are all firing simultaneously in ways no structured kit can engineer. Harvard researchers studying early childhood development have consistently found that child-led, open-ended play produces stronger cognitive outcomes than adult-directed educational activities, especially before age 3. The most educational toy you can give your baby is one with no instructions. A wooden spoon, a plastic container, a pile of leaves. Your baby doesn't need to be taught. They need to be free to discover. Number 7 is the one I promised you at the beginning, and it's sitting in almost every nursery in the world right now. Number 7. Jumperoos and activity centers used for long periods. Here it is, the one that's in almost every home. And let me say again, short periods of supervised use are not the issue. The issue is what happens when jumperoos become a primary play environment for extended periods. Pediatric physiotherapists have raised increasing concern about this. When your baby spends long periods in a jumperoo, They are repeatedly loading weight through their legs and spine before the muscles, ligaments, and bones designed to support that weight are ready. But the deeper issue is positional restriction. Your baby's brain develops spatial awareness, balance, and body confidence through free movement exploration, rolling, reaching, pulling, pushing against the floor. A jumperoo locks them into one position and one movement pattern. From your baby's developmental perspective, the floor, messy, open, and unstructured, is infinitely more valuable than the most expensive activity center ever made. Every minute on the floor is a minute their brain is building itself. Number 8 is one of the most well-intentioned gifts a parent can give, and the hidden cost to language development is something almost no one talks about. Number 8. Noise-canceling headphones marketed for babies. This one comes entirely from love. The world is loud. You want to protect them. But here's the surprising part. Your baby's auditory system, the network of neural pathways that will eventually process language, music, and human speech, is built through exposure to the full, rich, complex soundscape of the real world. Your voice in different rooms, the sounds of your home, the rhythm of daily life. Researchers studying auditory brain development have found that babies need a wide variety of natural sound input to build robust auditory processing pathways. Prolonged noise reduction during normal daily activities, not concerts, not genuinely harmful environments, can quietly narrow the range of sound input their developing auditory cortex learns to process. Your baby is not just hearing the world. They are using sound to map it, understand it, and feel safe within it. The sounds of your home are not noise to your baby. They are the language of their world. Number 9 is the gift that grandparents give most often, and what it does to self-directed eating development will change how you see meal times forever. Number 9. Pouched baby food given instead of textured food experiences. Pouches are convenient. Pouches travel well. Pouches are clean and easy, and your baby loves them. But here is what's quietly happening when pouches become the primary feeding experience. Your baby's relationship with food, their willingness to try new textures, their ability to self-regulate hunger, their development of oral motor skills needed for speech, is built through the messy, hands-on, tactile experience of actually touching, smelling, and manipulating real food. Pediatric feeding specialists call this sensory food exploration, and research consistently shows that babies with limited texture experience in their first years are significantly more likely to develop food aversions, feeding difficulties, and restricted diets as toddlers. The mess on your baby's face and hands during a meal isn't a problem to clean up. It's brain development happening in real time. Let them touch it. Let them smear it. Let them discover it. Their brain is eating too. And the 10th gift, the final one, is the most surprising of all. Because it's not a toy. It's not a device. It's something parents give their babies every single day thinking it's helping. Number 10. Overscheduled enrichment classes replacing free, unstructured time. Baby yoga, baby music class, baby swimming, baby sensory sessions, baby French. Every one of these comes from a place of pure love and hope. You want to give your baby every advantage. You want their early years to be rich and full and stimulating. But here is what the research on early childhood development says with remarkable consistency. The single most important thing for your baby's brain development in the first 3 years is not structured enrichment. It is responsive, present, unhurried time with you. Not a curriculum, not a schedule. You. When your baby's day is filled with classes and activities and transitions, what gets quietly crowded out is the one thing their developing brain needs most: long, slow, unstructured time to process, explore, and simply be. The most enriching environment your baby will ever experience is a Tuesday morning at home with you. No schedule, no class, no agenda. Just the two of you, a few simple objects, and time that belongs entirely to them. You don't need to enrich your baby's world. You are their world. 5 things you can do starting today. Put one electronic toy away this week. Replace it with something open-ended, a wooden spoon, a container, a softball. Watch what your baby's brain does with the freedom. Give your baby 20 minutes of floor time today with no toys that talk. light up, or play music. Just you, the floor, and whatever they reach for. Turn off the sleep soother tonight. Darkness and gentle quiet. Give their brain the silence it needs to do its deepest work. Cancel one class this week and spend that hour doing nothing in particular with your baby. No agenda, no outcome, just presence. The next time you shop for your baby, ask one question before you buy. Does this require my baby to do something, or does it do everything for them? Choose the one that requires them. The baby gift industry makes billions of dollars every year selling parents the belief that development can be purchased, that the right toy, the right device, the right class will give your baby a head start that love alone cannot. But the science tells a different story. The most powerful brain development tool ever studied is not sold in any store. It cannot be wrapped. It cannot be shipped. It has no batteries, no app, no subscription. It is you, your face, your voice, your unhurried presence on an ordinary afternoon. Your baby doesn't need a better gift. They need more of you.